Whoa. Oh. I didn't see you guys come in. Good evening, everyone. Support for the war in Iran is expanding, with France sending naval forces, Spain offering bases, and Ireland sending a bomb filled with deadly gases. The fighting in Iran has effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz, causing one man to ask, but where can I meet the gay of Hormuz? 20% of the world's natural gas passes through the Strait of Hormuz. The remaining 80% passes through this. Meanwhile, President Trump fired DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and no one's more disappointed than her dogs. According to a new poll, 57% of Americans want all illegal migrants sent home. And experts note that this would take at least 4 used El Caminos.
It's a great car.
They are. Bring them back, I say. Britney Spears was arrested for a DUI. The cop who pulled her over says he didn't recognize her with her clothes on. Poor lady, poor lady. Let's unfree Britney. A new report shows that self-driven cars keep crashing in bad weather. Even worse, Asian-driven cars crash in good weather. How would you clap at that? Racist. Racist. NBA player Luke Cornett is asking the Atlanta Hawks to cancel a night honoring a local strip club in order to respect women. Other NBA players disagreed, saying it's the only time they get to see the mothers of their children.
That's up, Greg.
I didn't write it. In order to avoid violating FCC requirements, The View is now claiming they are a news program. I know. And in order to avoid violating FDA requirements, they now have to kill the hogs before they eat them. Yeah, they ate raw pigs. Finally, in Fresno, a child sex offender running for city council held a press conference outside a school. But he said there's nothing to worry about because the kids are really ugly. It's okay to laugh. You ever notice this pattern, how traditional media and Dems support lofty goals but never a plan to achieve them? We saw it with Doge. They said for years the deficit will destroy us, but when someone actually picks up the knife, they key cars. They said they wanted a secure border, then enforcement ramps up, they call you racist, and they spit on cops. And now with Iran, it's the same thing. I mean, it took forever to get the left to even admit the Iranian regime isn't a knitting circle. After all, this is a government that funds proxies, destabilizes neighbors, treats death to America like a morning greeting, and they have women wear headscarves, even the hot ones.
Ooh.
But when Trump hears there's a problem, he can't help but want to solve it in the only way he knows how. It's kind of why he won. And what happens with his detractors? Well, they retreat to the same prison of two ideas. Sure, Iran is a terrible regime, but we can't have forever wars. Well, we agree on that. But it's like saying, I have split ends, but I really don't want to have to shave my head. The real world has endless options, and many of them are adjustable. Trump knows this. He dials things up, he dials things down, because he operates in a reality filled with some very bad people. Now, it would be different if Iran wanted to be left alone and left us alone, but they spent decades calling for our death, dragging us into scraps we want no part in. Yet our own regime kept kicking the can down the road, making it the next guy's problem. The problem? That next guy was Trump. You make it his problem, he's going to solve it, along with other long-standing issues. Remember the last warning Obama gave to Trump? Hey, buddy, watch out for North Korea. And what's the first thing Trump did? Deal with North Korea. So to him, Iran is like a Rubik's Cube. It's not if he can solve it, but how fast and with the fewest moves. And he has no problem showing you where he's at. like in this perfect moment.
You want to say something really fast, Bernie?
Thank you.
I have to go back and look at the war. You know, I have a lot of things happening.
You notice how it's just a small thing, but how different that is than past leaders. Absolutely no leader would say, hey, I got to run, got a war to wage. But to Trump, he treats it like a problem that needs fixing. And he sounds no different than Don Lemon saying, I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got dozens of homeless to bang. Meanwhile, even the region itself has moved on. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Israel, they're building tech hubs, wealth funds, AI, tourism, data centers. The Saudis even let women drive, regardless of what it does to car insurance rates. And women don't have to be fully covered anymore, with the exception, of course, of one. Many Muslim nations signed on to the Abraham Accords with Israel, which is like the Crips and the Bloods starting a softball team together. But Iran is the last guy clinging to old ways. The Ayatollah was probably still using silly putty to copy newspaper articles. But Trump doesn't see this as an ideological debate. He sees it transactionally. Apply pressure. What's the return? Stability, trade, energy security. It's a negotiation, not group therapy. He's not worried about Spain's feelings. We've heard enough Spanish anyway during the halftime show. Call back. So we finally have a president that doesn't just understand the goal, but willing to provide a path to it. In the real world, a messy place where things aren't perfect, but where life happens. The Iran combat will end at some point. There will be a deal. It won't be poetry. It'll be paperwork, commerce instead of chaos. And the left will hate it, no matter how it looks. Because it's not that they just hate watching the sausage get made. They hate that it gets made at all. And boy, do they despise the guy who's making it. Let's welcome tonight's guest. After the show, he returns his wardrobe to Salvation Army. Host of the Loftus Party podcast, Michael Loftus. He looks like the kind of guy who hands out business cards at a boat show. Former Trump advisor Steve Cortez. She was on the equestrian team, so she's an expert on manure. Republican strategist Aaron McGuire. And he's made more old ladies weak in the knees than osteoarthritis. Former NWA world champion, host of Planet Tyrus. Michael Loftus, you were in the homeless shelter when the strikes began. How did everybody feel when it happened? Were they very patriotic?
Well, we all panicked.
Yes.
And then when they said, you'll still get rice and beans, we're like, whew, that was close.
That's great. Thank God for that.
But we're very patriotic. Everybody at the shelter.
Yeah.
We were lighting things up, red, white, and blue.
We just
singing
can't-
in our little cardboard boxes.
We just can't wait. Our show can't wait for you to get back up on your feet.
It's going to be a while.
Yes, yes.
There's a lot of rails to ride.
Yes, yes. So what do you make of this? What's your take? I haven't heard from you at all about it.
The war, no one's for war.
Yeah.
But it's like we all saw this coming for decades. Like every single president was like, Bill Clinton's like, oh boy, we don't want Iran to get a nuke.
Yeah.
We're going to give them some uranium, see how that works out. What are you doing? Obama's giving him a bunch of cash. Biden gave him cash. And then finally, we got Donald Trump, who's like, I'm going to change it up. I'm not going to send cash. I'm going to send bombs. Bam, bam. Yeah. We got a secret weapon in America, Batman planes and Pete Hegseth.
Yes.
It's wonderful. I like it, and I'm happy for the people of Iran. I want to start calling it Persia again.
Yes.
And I tell you what, there's some hotties under there.
Yes.
You start, it's like a candy. You get the wrapper off, and you're like, wowza, wowza, woo-woo.
Yeah, Iran, they're like the Kardashians of the Middle East.
But trustworthy.
Yes, yes. Steve, you've always been pretty good at getting the angle on Trump before a lot of people did, including myself. So how would you put your friends at ease about concerns of a long and ugly war?
No, it's a great question. And I will say this, too. I also think that some of my friends on the right should realize that as patriots, I believe, whatever your feelings were about getting into this war, once our people in uniform are risking their lives in the field, it's no longer time to debate that, I don't think. I think it's time to cheer on their wins and to pray for their safety, right, every day and cheer on their wins.
I think you could do both, though. I think that it is kind of, it's going to sound liberal on my behalf, but it is kind of patriotic to also be critical on how things are done because you want it to be done better.
Sure. And to that point, and I think this is also important, I will also say this. I do believe, and I'm somebody who is deeply connected to, what we would call the America First right or the MAGA right and influencers all over the country. And there is a lot of suspicion about this right now, okay? There is. And I don't mean just a few people who are influential on social media. I mean just regular folks, and I also see it in my polling. This is so far not popular.
Yeah.
So given that reality, I think it's incumbent upon the president to wrap this up as quickly as is possible, right? I think he'll do that. I think he realizes that, and I believe that will happen, but it has to.
Yeah, it does make me, it makes me wonder in the old days, Aaron, back when you were just, in your early 30s. I'm kidding.
So you mean just a few years ago?
Yes. If you heard about a country that got its entire leadership lopped off, it would just surrender. Wasn't that how it used to be? So what is taking so long? Am I that naive and stupid? Don't answer that, audience. I could be both.
I think there are a number of considerations that go into why there hasn't been a full toppling of the Iranian regime, and it's because of their proxy network. They have built a network of terrorists and influence across the Middle East that has led to the death of thousands of Americans over the years. So our ability to completely upend the regime, one, was not the full goal. But also, the Iranian people, if they want to topple their regime, this is the time to do it. This is their opportunity to stand up and say, we are done with the oppression, we are done with the murder, we are done with the terrorism, and we want to live free.
Well, can I ask to that point, I hate saying to that point, but I did it again. What if we overestimated the will of the Iranian people? What if we're looking at social media and we're just seeing maybe it's 100,000 people and not 90 million people that I now am so skeptical of the things that I get. How do we know? Because there was a lot of chatter when people were getting killed, and then it's like, where is it now? Where are the people?
Well, they were on the streets prior to the United States being attacked, and then tens of thousands of them were murdered by the regime. So I can understand why they might not be gathering in the streets again to get their heads lobbed off while the regime is still in power. But I do think that there is a large majority of the Iranian people who would rather have the opportunity to have women crash cars all over the country than not,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you have to accept some of the flaws with freedom, and that is women driving.
Terrible driver. I'm a terrible driver.
I think we've said it a few times. It's the one thing they got right.
Yeah, that's true. Tyrus, so Steve says in order to keep this, it's got to be over soon. I believe that Trump, it doesn't go with his character that he would do anything for the long term. If he thought this was going to be long, he wouldn't do it.
Again, I think with President Trump and everything that he's done, he's been so transparent that when they try to put spins on it, it's laughable. I mean, he literally tells you the exception of, come watch the room where I pick up the phone and say, bomb away. I mean, that's the only thing we don't see is, and I'm sure that's going to be a pay-per-view at some point. But what I picked up on what he's been doing, looks like he's the one president who's trying to leave it better than when he got it. And we haven't had that in a long time. So I don't think he's going to walk into anything, and I think you made this point on the 5. He doesn't walk into anything he doesn't know how to get out of.
Right.
And he basically is playing Godfather with Iran. He made them an offer they couldn't refuse, and they blinked. And when they woke up, it wasn't a horse's head in their bed. It was all of them.
Yeah.
So again, when it comes to polling with President Trump, I don't think it matters. When it comes to you just throwing shots at it. I know you're sick, but you're still fighting. yeah, it's hard to believe anything you see on TV because look at the we see on our TV.
Yeah.
Like the arguments are, and this is how you know what he's doing is right, and is because the arguments are, I don't know if he has enough ammunition.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yes.
One guy on MSNBC said it was like 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, like they're trying to find anything except the fact that he did something that no country, nation has ever been able to do anything more than to slap Iran on the wrist because they were too afraid. And what he did is he walked away. Everyone was like, I don't know about it. He's like, excuse me, pardon me, Iran, hi, boom. And then like, see, told you, easy. And then he cut the head off, and he's going to keep cutting the head off because even if that doesn't mean he's going to change regime, the new regime is going to be very polite because he can get you. He can get all of you.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And I think that's the thing that I think that's the precedent he's setting, and he's going to let the Middle East figure it out.
Yeah. Let's not forget he changed another regime, the one in the United States.
Whoop.
Boom, your head should explode right now.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.